Four dimes. Hey, everybody. It's Sean Reuter from CagesideSeats.com at S1Root on the Twitter machine. I'm joined by a somewhat mellow Gino Morosco, who you can find on Twitter at CagesideSeats. Look at me with the professional intro.
Can't find me there.
Oh, you can't find him there. That's an anonymous general manager.
That's a dummy account.
So don't even try to find him on Twitter.
Yeah, we set that up. The guy who runs it's named Gino, but it's not me.
Somebody last night tweeted at me and was worried about you because you weren't tweeting during the Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
Is that a shoot?
That is a shoot. I forget who it was. I think it might have been Drew Borsellino, but I don't want to. Now, if it wasn't Drew Borsellino, or if I'm completely butchering his name, I'm going to have pissed off a bunch of people.
To Drew Borsellino, why don't you mind your fucking business? Because
tough but fair.
Well, what it is that fucking shitbag Handstock had to go work for the competition, and now it's I have less time. We have more stuff we got to do. We alternate our little recap posts. I got to write a damn recap and get it up by midnight because people get real upset if that doesn't happen. So it's I was doing a lot of things and trying to shuffle a lot of things, and that's what happens. So I apologize that my normal tweeting prowess wasn't. You know what I looked at though?
What?
So I was talking to someone about impressions, and I had never really looked at how many impressions our tweets actually get. It's funny, I talk about it all the time, engagement, hashtag, all that bullshit. I looked at the impressions, and they were like, I've got 56,000 impressions over the last 28 days. Is that a good number? And I'm like, that actually seems really good to me. And then they're like, I should look at our number. Like 7 million or something like that. And I was like, holy shit. I did not. Yeah, I was like, holy fuck. So the idea that like 7 million interactions, or I don't know what impressions are, like 7 million, it's been seen 7 million times. Right. The dumbass shit that I spew on that Twitter page sometimes, or not me, Gino, that asshole.
Right, that asshole.
Yeah, he spews some dumb shit.
That Mark.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, there you go.
That for sure.
I don't know how many. I gotta go look. I don't want to look at mine now because I'm gonna be depressed because mine's probably like.
I bet it's probably a good number.
I probably have 7. I bet that's how many I have since I started the account.
You know what though? Actually, you have a good following. You're over 1,000 followers now.
I know, and I don't even do anything. I even forget to plug it on here. So look at me. Woohoo! It's because I'm damn clever.
You're sweating.
I know. I told you. I got on in the pre-show. I told Gino I'm fat and sweaty, and he said, "Oh no, you're not." And I said, "Oh, yes, I am."
You're not fat. You're sweaty.
I'm a big boy.
You're in a basement.
I am in a basement, which, as we all learned in Inglourious Bastards, is never where you want to have a meeting. I had a story on Friday night. I was out with some friends, and we saw another friend that we hadn't seen in a long time, and he said hello and shook hands with the 2 guys I was with, and I stuck my hand out, and he said, "What's your name again?" And I said, "Mike, it's Sean." And he said, "Jesus, Sean, I don't want to be rude or anything, but you might want to take up running or something."
Did that really happen?
That's the shoot. That happened on Friday night.
You're not fat. I don't want to hear that. You look good.
It's all in the middle.
Well, another thing here is
I go about 6'2", 250. So I'm not a small man. Let me just tell you.
6'2", you're a tall bastard. Is what it is. What's funny is there's so many people don't realize. Like I've told people before that you and I have never been in the same room together, and it blows people's minds.
It's because we're soulmates. Well,
part of that's what I was just getting ready to say. I'm jelly because I had no idea this get-together was happening. I didn't realize you had friends outside of me. And I'm not sure I'm a big fan of it. Gonna throw that out there. Right, I tolerate Julie.
I'll run it by you next time. I'll run it by you next time. I'm sorry.
No, really what it is I don't want to go to fucking Bodymore Murderland, as you like to call it.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
Anyway, I guess we're here to talk about wrestling.
Let's talk about it. Gino doesn't want to talk about it, everybody.
I really don't, guys. This might be my last show. This might be my last episode of Cage Side Live. What was there? Dean Ambrose is the... What happened?
I think it's funny because I think 2 weeks ago you were talking about expanding your podcast presence and getting all these other guest hosts and doing shows on the weekend. Right? And now you're like, I think I'm done with the whole fucking thing.
I'm announcing this is the Gino retirement show. I'm announcing my retirement. I'm gonna take I brought a championship to cage side, and now
You
I'm
did.
I'm going to take my talents back to South Beach,
Seems fair.
aka back to in front of the TV, where I'm going to play copious amounts of Yoshi's Island.
Nice.
Instead of talk about Dean fucking Ambrose. Are you happy that he's the world heavyweight champion right now?
Sure.
That is really, for a shoot, it really is like that's the whole general feeling with
That's
WWE.
my.
Like,
I mean, yeah.
I'm okay with it. I guess
Yeah.
probably.
I'm not outraged, so that's a nice change of pace.
Look, things could be worse. We could be starving to death and burning in a fire.
That's right.
So I mean, he's champ.
He could have won it in an asylum match.
I mean, he's not Brother Nero.
No.
He's not broken.
No.
I don't know. Yeah, it's
he's not Rusev. So.
He could have won it in an asylum match. I don't think he could have, because I don't think anyone knows how to win that match, even though he has a victory within that match.
Maybe they'll hang the belt up there and you can use it as a weapon.
Rusev is still going today, by the way.
Is he really?
I saw him on Twitter, like they should like disown their dad or something like that. Like he's not a good dad, or so. I'll be your father. Or something. I'm an American hero.
When he said they don't call him dad anymore, they call him Titus, I was done. That was
Rusev is the greatest, dude.
He is the god.
The god. Rusev the god.
Yep.
But no, so Dean, it's funny too, because he did like a really good interview with old Tommy Phillips.
Mm-hmm. Poor Tom.
Not poor Tom, but the rumor, unsubstantiated, which is absolutely what we deal in here at Cage Set Seats, is that he's a little backstage politicker. Remember, who was it?
It's Rich Bonino's wife or whatever. The former Rich Brennan's wife said that.
Yeah, his wife.
Tom is a snake.
That politicking son of a bitch. And so apparently he's just, you got to watch out for him. So I don't feel as bad.
Maybe that's why Big E just fucking savages him on Twitter every once.
Yeah, right. Big E goes off like.
Maybe that's why Stephanie McMahon. Maybe that's
Kevin Owens is like, I'm gonna towel down my naked body. And when Phillips laughs, he goes, stay professional. Yeah. So I don't feel as bad about that.
That's true. Good call. No, anyway, Dean's promo, yeah.
Really good promo, and it's funny because we're not going to get to see something like that. Instead, what'll happen is he'll come out on Raw tonight and he'll say, "Look, I did this for the people and the things in life that are the most important." And a picture of Mitch, the potted plant, will show up on the Titantron, and he'll say, "Mitch, we did it!" And they'll make it comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And it's at that point that you'll receive a message in the Cage Side offices, and I will claim my power went out. And I'll tag in Decker and make him earn his paycheck, you little piece of shit. And yeah, that'll be how that goes.
Nice.
It was cool, though, I guess.
So you're optimistic about tonight, then, it sounds like.
Very, very. I'm looking forward to it. I'm really excited to watch professional wrestling. If
there was a Cage Side Morale goof Twitter account, it would be high right now.
High. Incredibly high. I'm broken Gino Morosco right now.
You are broken Morosco. Broken.
Yeah, well, like, are you excited for Raw? Because, I mean, there's a certain novelty to it, right? Like, every member of the Shield held the title within, like, a 5-minute span. Which, I mean, that's cool, I guess, right? And then he got his revenge on Seth, and that's cool. And then, Roman's... I'm kind of surprised they took the belt off him.
That's the thing.
Something must have happened, right?
I mean, it should be up now. Meltzer says it might be because Roman can't draw live. Apparently, they crunched the numbers for May, and the Ambrose-led tour was equal to the Reigns-led tour, even though the Ambrose-led tour was almost always in smaller markets.
In smaller markets, and not to mention when they do the advertising gimmicks, it's Reigns and Rollins and Bray Wyatt, right? But when it's Ambrose, Big Show, and Kane.
Well,
if you're selling
those guys are draws.
Well, I mean,
I don't know.
The Ambrose crew is just the smaller one, and it's been because Cena's been out. So I mean, maybe it was kind of a blessing in disguise, I guess, that Cena was hurt, and so they switched.
Well, also, I mean, for the month that the Observer's talking about, it's the month that he was billed as WWE Champion Roman Reigns too. So that doesn't. I mean, if you're not drawing with the belt, that's a problem, I think. Or if you're drawing, not that he's not drawing. Well, I mean, numbers were down across the board, so he kind of wasn't drawing, but he also was just drawing equal to Ambrose. So I don't know. I mean, they don't know. Nobody knows if that's, if they're changing up based on last night, or if this is just going to be the latest way for Roman to overcome things, which we all know Roman likes to do.
We're now officially 1 month away from the WWE draft.
Mm-hmm.
And so perhaps it's got more to do with the fact that they're going to introduce a new title, and maybe Reigns will just get that title.
Yep.
Still a surprise that it was a clean win. Mm-hmm. Rollins just beat him.
Yep.
He just won the match. And that was a setup for, Ambrose to come out and do his thing, which I'm happy about, if only because I really didn't want to deal with the briefcase being a thing for the next year.
I didn't realize that until this morning. It struck me, and I was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah. It's out of the way already and cool and great and all that. So
yeah. And it'll probably, and that might even help it feel fresh by the time we get to it next year, 365 days away. I doubt it. I think we'll probably still be sick of it, but hey.
Yeah. The matches were fun. I thought Rollins and Reigns could have been better. I mean, I don't know. I think maybe I expected more out of it. If we were running long at that point and they had that really needlessly long Rusev-Titus O'Neil match, which I don't know, maybe they're treating pay-per-views now in the same way they treat Raw, in the sense of how they time it out. Like, we want to make sure the Cavs game's over.
Yep.
So we get as enough eyes as possible on our network to show the title change. And then the title change right after that to get them, okay, now watch Raw tomorrow. I think it's kind of interesting what they're doing. Raw builds to the network specials, but also now the network specials build to Raw.
Yep.
They need to get the ratings back up, and they are far more important than many people would have you believe. Like, oh, it doesn't matter, and it's not like it used to be, but that's not true at all. It's not even kind of true. Most of their money comes from the TV deals, and if the network isn't happy with that, I mean, that's a big, big problem. They can't sustain their business with just the network.
Nope, not the way it is right now.
So maybe that's the new thing, is let's build to Raw and SmackDown.
Well, that's where they put the big money stars. The McMahons is on Raw. They didn't even show up last night, so I'm expecting, with the brand split, with the draft announcement, I'm expecting a heavy dose of the Shane and Steph show tonight. So
true.
That's why I'm not excited, honestly.
Because they did say unique managers doing the draft, right? Like they're gonna pick the squads.
The way it's written, it sounds exactly like every draft they used to do. They just haven't told us officially who the GMs are yet. But I mean, wouldn't it be much more surprising if it wasn't Shane and Stephanie now than if it was anything else? I mean, unless they fucking brought back Bischoff.
There's literally no way it's not those two.
Yeah, I mean, they're not even trying to create suspense about it. They're doing comedy bits with Kane and Teddy Long, but those are not meant to make you think that it won't be Shane and Stephanie.
Yep.
So, how about them apples? So did you like Cena Styles better than you liked Reigns Rollins?
Yes.
See, I'm the opposite. So that's interesting. What else you want to talk about? I thought Reigns and Rollins started slow, but then they really sucked me in. I liked Styles Cena, but I don't know. I guess it's a totally subjective, personal thing. But just like the build to that never grabbed me. The match, it was a really good match. I enjoyed it. I thought Cena did something we don't usually see him do, which was he sold like a motherfucker. He didn't even do the full 5-knuckle shuffle. I mean, it was interesting. For some reason, it never grabbed me and sucked me in, and maybe it was how long. I mean, maybe it's just where I was at that point, but I got sucked into Reigns Rollins, and it sort of paid off for me when Rollins won, because to me, the most surprising thing about the last 15 minutes is that they pinned Roman Reigns clean. I didn't see that coming at all.
So. Right. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
The Styles Cena stuff was very, it was interesting in the sense of how it was laid out. It was very much laid out almost like, the Brock Cena matches, in that he was just kind of beating the shit out of him. Yeah. And Cena was having a real hard time doing anything, and the announce team was putting that over. And by the end, though, right, the idea is still for him to overcome. And people get tired of that, whatever, but that's what you do. Like, that's what professional wrestling is. That's what the storytelling medium is. That's the Cena character. It's just what it is. It always has to be that way. Mm-hmm. You can't change that, because then you change fundamentally who John Cena is, and you can't do that because he's still a huge star. So, I mean, we were always headed here. What I think the point is, well, can you get there in an entertaining way? And I thought the match was good. I thought Styles was really good doing the heel stuff. And is this all he's got? Is this the big deal? To the audience, and he's just kind of doing his thing. And then ultimately, he had to cheat to win. Cena had the match won, but AJ had to cheat, and then he won, and now he gets to be a shitbag. I think part of the burnout that I'm having, too, is just the response to stuff, and our very own freshly hired paid contributor, Jason Martin, did the story. I think that's up now, right? Where talking about people are like, actually, they're mad. And mad in that, way of not like, I'm going with the story mad, but mad like, this is a bad thing to do.
Yeah.
The club helped him win, and that's not, and it's just like, we're too, I think I've said it before, we're too shoot to enjoy the work anymore. We know too much to just kind of go with stuff, and we can't really enjoy it for what it is. And if you're really complaining about a heel being a heel, I just, maybe you're watching the wrong program, because it's what they have to do. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're looking for here, but
I mean, sometimes I think it's also for a lot of people, and especially, I mean, we were just talking about this before the show too, for people like either for work or just because it's the way you are, you tend to be online a lot. Sometimes you might just need to step back, because there's nothing wrong with arguing about whether or not that's the right business decision. But when you hear it every fucking day for, I think both things are true. I think for the most part, wrestling fans in general would do well to step back a little bit and, recognize the difference between this was a good story, but I still think maybe they could have gone a different way, and not have that just be, just fucking noise and yelling. And
if you're in the bubble as much as Vince McMahon's in the bubble, right, you'll become, it changes you. If you stay in that world, you can't, there's some measure of like, growth only exists through making yourself uncomfortable, through making yourself, exposing yourself to different things, to new things, to things you haven't been exposed to before. When you're in what all of this is, it just tends to be almost an echo chamber, and there's no growth to be had there. It's just, it's a feedback loop, essentially. And that's kind of what it feels like to me right now. Nothing even this fresh brand split draft, like, we've literally seen that before, like 10 years ago, and it didn't work then. And I don't know why they think it's going to work now.
Because they're going to bring back Carlito.
And Shelton Benjamin, and hopefully Shelton Benjamin's mom.
Exactly. It'll all be better.
I'd put the world title on her is what I'd do. Well, I don't know what the world title is going to be, or the SmackDown title, or the Raw title, or the, all these other things. Sometimes it's okay to, and too, like you said, it's okay to step back. Like, that's, that's what I'm doing. Like, at some level, you're no longer a productive member of the conversation. And at that point, you need to just back away from it. And you can come back when the time's to come back. So it would do, take a fucking vacation, Vince.
Yeah.
Go away for a month. You'd be amazed what it'd do to you.
It's interesting coming off of that Freddie Prinze Jr. interview or whatever that he did with Sam Roberts, where he defended Vince, but in the same breath, he's talking about how Vince doesn't know who fucking Richard Pryor is, which, I mean, that's kind of a big deal. I mean, right? I mean, for somebody Vince's age, I don't know, for somebody your age, I mean, Richard Pryor was basically Kevin Hart in the 70s and early 80s. You couldn't miss him. I know you are. I'm just saying. I mean, but it's not just like, now he's just like a stand-up guy that a lot of people have heard of, and he's influenced some people. But it's a big deal to not know who that is. He made a RoboCop reference to Vince. Vince didn't know what that was, even though RoboCop is a WCW superstar. Yeah, for Christ's sake. So yeah, I mean, Vince is totally. I mean, and that's just it. I mean, I don't. Like I said, as usual, I see both sides of it. I mean, because I think you can critique the story and have some issues with it, but you still just have to say it is what it is. It's a story, and this is the way they're choosing to tell it. So it's not right or wrong imperatively.
It's a problem of approach too. Like you said, like the story, I just didn't like it versus it was bad.
Right. It's bad for business.
Right. Yeah, I don't know why. Yeah, you don't know, and I don't know why people come in it from that kind of perspective of like, I mean, on some level you can know that it's, you know, how do you build a guy up versus how do you put a guy down versus, you know, obviously in building a guy up will maybe help him become a draw, and but what determines what a draw is, and you don't have access to the numbers that would make that clear in either direction, either which way. So you're kind of, I feel like it's just we as fans, we kind of tend to overstep our bounds in terms of what we expect. What do you expect to get out of this when you're watching it? Like, are you really deriving enjoyment from them making a booking decision you agree with?
Right.
Just seems strange. You know, it's like I watched the Cavs Warriors game, and I didn't really care at all that the Cavs won, but the fact that they ran that fucking pick and roll screen on with 2 minutes to go, that really got my rocks off. That was good. I thought that was a good coaching move. That's what I'd have done. You know, I think it's kind of similar, and it's just weird.
Well, the weirder thing for me too is, I mean, I guess it's this notion that it matters to us somehow whether or not they're leaving money on the table or any of this stuff. You know, why do you? I mean, Vince is a millionaire who should be a billionaire, whatever the fuck. What does it matter to you if they're making the right business decision? At the end of the day, were you entertained or not by the story they told you? And I think a lot of times, I guess the problem is fans come up, think about that, and the answer is no. And then they don't want to stop watching, so they decide, well, I'm going to dig into the stock price as the thing I'm going to pay attention to, or something. And you know, and maybe that's because they're a monopoly and they're not the only game in town, but they're easily the most prevalent game in town. So, so we're sort of stuck with them in this. You know, we've made the abusive relationship analogy before, whether that's good or bad. As people an analogy, really mad at us when we did. Yeah, but I mean, it is kind of. I mean, it is. I mean, there's maybe don't call it abusive, but a bad relationship where you're not getting what you want out of it, but you keep coming back. So it's not that anybody's getting hit, but you're not. You know, they ain't buying us flowers, but we keep coming back for dates.
There are different forms of abuse, certainly, and different forms of control, and different forms of emotional. You know, if you're in a situation where you feel stifled, but you feel like you can't get away because for various reasons or whatever, and then so you keep coming back, and you're never going to not feel stifled by it. I mean, that is a form of exactly what we're talking about. And you know, the problem really too is like maybe that's it. That we end up analyzing it like this, and we go, well, what is the issue? And it's part of the reason it is a problem to be in an emotionally abusive relationship like we talk about again. I mean, maybe it's, you know, we're not trying to be offensive using that as the analogy or whatever, but a big problem with being in something like that is what you end up doing is you turn it on yourself and you wonder, you know, well, what's wrong with me? What can I change about me to make this better? And when you get to that point, right, like what you're doing is that's like you're shifting the goalposts. You're like trying to make something work, and you're altering who you are for something where you shouldn't be altering who you are because you haven't done anything to create the situation. It's on the other side, or it's, you know, it's the two sides can't come together to make something work. It's kind of the same thing here. I mean, like I said, we're sitting here and going, you know, well, maybe it's on us because we overstep our bounds as fans, or we look at things in the wrong way, or we do this or that. And it's like, I don't know. At what point is it on them? At what point is it on us? Those are difficult questions to answer. I'm not really even sure. I don't. And is it worth it?
I mean, that's the big question, I guess, is, I mean, and we've been around this on this podcast and in articles before. I mean, really, the only thing that's going to, and maybe this is actually happening a little bit, the only thing that's going to drive any change out of WWE and Vince is if people stop watching and stop buying tickets and stop buying merchandise. So we can engage with the product however we want to, as long as we're engaged. It's the Roman defense that we've heard for 2 months. You know, it doesn't matter as long as you're reacting. So I don't know. I mean, it's hard to, I mean, the world is too big. The WWE universe is too big to figure out why everybody does what they do, but as long as
it feels fixable.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest things that keeps you in something like that, is you look at it and you go, God, this seems so easy to fix.
Well, and it's, you know,
but it's really not.
Well, I guess maybe I don't know. Honestly, I don't know because I've never been a wrestling promoter or a television executive either of those things. So I don't know, but it does seem like it. And the other thing, I mean, we've talked about this before, is because we do get amazing moments out of it. So it is. I mean, there is the night when we have the perfect date with WWE, and that helps us put aside the
buys us
6 months of just depression and anger that we feel otherwise. Because every once in a while you get WrestleMania 30.
It's enough to hang on to not want to leave.
Yep.
And it makes you, I'll put up with something being wrong for a real long time before I finally cut it off, because it's like, this is so right when it goes right. And last night, I think, was that moment for a lot of people. Like, Dean Ambrose is a beloved character. On Twitter, of course, exploded, and he's got such a big social media following, which is hilarious considering he's
never on it, right?
He despises it. It's you get invested, and it's just so unfortunate, I guess, that you do get invested, and it comes down to too many other factors, right? Like, I got invested in Dean Ambrose for WrestleMania. You remember, I was real pushing that story real hard, and then it just didn't work out for whatever reason, and that's okay, certainly. And now it's worked out here, but the reason it worked out here wasn't because they wanted to tell a good story. Like you said, it was because maybe he's just a better draw at the house shows than Roman Reigns is. Maybe that's what it came down to. So when I look at it like that, it almost feels dirty. It almost feels to me like, how can I really, because, someone writes a book or a movie or any story, right? And the idea is just to make the best story you can. WWE doesn't operate that way. The idea is to make the most money you can.
Yep.
And not, we're going to make money because the stories are good, but how do we make money? And we'll just alter the stories to suit that. So if we're not making the most money we can with this guy, no matter what it'll do to the story, let's move him out and put the other guy in. And that's apparent, maybe what they did. I don't know, but reportedly, whatever you want to say. And so here we are, and Dean's champ, and we have to do the mental gymnastics to put it all together like it's like it actually is a great storytelling moment. And again, in many ways it is, but it's not because they brought it here. It's just because it kind of happened, and we're doing the leaps for them.
Which gets to the whole problem that we started this conversation with, right? It's like, how do you tease out, this is why I'm watching and this is what I should pay attention to? Because we're so far up we think we're so far behind the curtain, and maybe we're just so far up our own asses that we can't differentiate anymore, right? It's like, just the fact that we know the business exists and we have heard people say this is why Vince makes these decisions sort of takes away from the story for us.
Yeah.
And it's not. That's the problem with the Freddie Prinze analogies yesterday. He compared Vince to Jimi Hendrix and Picasso and shit. And Vince is not. I have a lot of respect for Vince as a businessman or whatever. He's obviously been willing to take some risks and been very successful in a lot of ways. But I would not confuse him for an artist, because, like you said, he's not doing this to craft the perfect story and then, be damned whether anybody else watches it or not. He's doing this because he likes to make money and he likes to beat people at his game.
Yeah, it's not art for the sake of making art.
Right.
It's art for the sake of making capital.
Right. For crushing the competition.
Yeah. It's ego driven, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. It just it's so sleazy, the industry as it is, with everything, and and like fucking Aldo, Igus, Adam, whatever the fuck your name is, Rose, and
Ray Leppin Dirtbag is his name.
Yeah. They do an E60 profile on him, and everyone thinks he's a fucking saint. And then, it's my wife's idea, and that doesn't make it better. Then your wife's also.
You still should have said no. Yeah.
Then your wife's also an idiot. I mean, and plus, that's probably not even fair of me. If she's also an abuse victim.
Mm-hmm.
In the right mind state, whatever, with that stuff. So it's just such a sleazy industry anyway. And when you look at things from those perspectives, it's, you end up being a cynic, and then you're negative, and then you get on and you try to talk through that or whatever, and you run into just such backlash, such you're too negative, you're watching it wrong, you're doing these things, and it's everyone knows best, and no one's happy.
Yep.
That's kind of how it feels. Did you see that Nikki Bella? So I brought this up the other day in the
Yeah, you didn't even. Yeah, I don't even know what you never even followed up and told me.
Nikki Bella. So I tweeted. You did a story about how Daniel Bryan is helping Nikki Bella develop a new finisher. So I tweeted. I said, so if she comes back and she's not using the Bella Hammer as her finish, blame Daniel Bryan. Got it. Full day later, I get a tweet. It's from Nikki Bella.
Aww.
And she says, it's the Bella Hammer still there, but it's going to be the Bella Hammer with something else on top of that. And a kiss face. One of those kiss face emojis, but it has the heart next to the kiss. I think that has added meaning. Now, hang on. People use emojis in different ways. I understand this. However, I also understand that people use emojis to be flirtatious. Step aside, Johnny C. It's Gino time, baby. It's Gino time. What's up, Nikki? Slide up in my DMs.
Are they open?
They are indeed open.
Nice.
And it's funny because I was like, oh, I'm super happy to hear that. I can't wait to see it. And so many little Bella fucking stands. Look how she dragged him. Dragon Queen. Slay. Like, look at him backtrack. What the fuck are you talking about? First of all, the first comment was tongue-in-cheek. Secondly, how did she drag me? She was just like, I'm not using the yes lock. People think that. That's not true. The Bella Hammer's going to be there, but it's got a little something added onto it. And a kiss face. I can't stress enough. Nikki Bella sent me a kiss face.
I know. And she may have slayed you, but not in the way they meant.
I don't think it was. And she favorited my response when I was like, hey, that's great. I can't wait to see it. And then, all her legions of 13-year-old idiots
Stupid idiots
are out there like, who, and then like quoting the tweet that I said, super happy to hear it. Can't wait to see it. And LOL. He got caught. Look at him. Look at him try to backtrack off of it. You don't know comedy.
I'm pretty sure that Twitter is the root of all evil. I'm not sure.
I'm done, man. Like, Sean and I were talking in the cage. Like, Sean got so mad even at us.
Oh, I couldn't deal with it last week. I had a problem.
We were like, Twitter exploded with like, so we're not going to name names, but, certain people were being shitbags. And, certain people, pretty much everybody, basically.
True, yeah.
I can't name names because the list is about 300 million long.
I'll name one name.
No, don't name the name. Don't.
Baron Corbin, that motherfucker.
Baron Corbin, yeah, and Johnny C.
And Johnny, that's where, when we book our fantasy, our Fed, it's going to be Johnny C versus Gino for Nikki's affection, and me versus Baron Corbin.
Is she sending you kiss faces with the hearts, Johnny C? Dude, where is fucking Big Bong McLongschlong? I need him back in my life.
That's why you're depressed.
I'm so.
You haven't gotten to make any Big Bong McLong. I don't even know what the fuck you just.
Big Bong McLongschlong, dude.
Nice. Where's Bray? Bray was supposed to be back 2 weeks ago.
Who gives a shit about Bray? I need the tank top that doesn't cover the titties and the diaper looking pants with the shit stained middle and the knowledge that he's McLongschlong.
How do you know he's McLongschlong?
I don't, but I want to think it.
You said knowledge.
Remember that Instagram he did where he was singing Juicy and shit? Yep. It was all a dream. Big man, strong man, big ass beard singing Biggie. Oh fuck! What was I talking about? I don't know.
We were talking about Nikki. Oh, the Twitter and
the Twitter thing. So we were gonna bail. So Sean's like, I was watching Louis C.K. or thinking about what he said when my life's a lot better when I got off the internet. And me and Mark Norman are in their Kate-side offices, and we go, yeah, because he's a little shitbag. He doesn't have to see all the bad shit that people say about how he's been a douche. Sean's like, yep, I'm leaving this conversation. And I just see that the online button that shows that Sean's on disappears. Sean's off. He's done.
Kyle and I talked about it afterwards. It was just, the thing was, I was making a point about how the negativity of the internet was dragging me down, and the first thing you two did was get negative. I was just like, I can't even.
Louis C.K.'s made a good point. Yeah, but he's a piece of shit.
I was just like, I can't. I'm done. Done.
Oh, man.
Anyway.
At least we're getting some laughter out of my last show.
That's right. That's it. we don't want it to be a mournful thing. We want it to be
No,
a
it's not a bad
celebration.
thing. I'm just leaving.
It's not a good thing. It's just. Oh, does that mean we won't get to hear that catchphrase anymore now that he's not champ? Oh man.
Oh man. Well, it's the guy and the man both lost to the lunatic, and it's what a stupid show. That might be the last one, everybody.
Oh
man, this show sucks. Yeah, I guess not. Well, I'm not a good guy. I'm not a bad guy. I'm not the champ either. I'm pretty sad, actually. I'm gonna go home now.
I wasn't a good champ. I wasn't a bad champ. But I'm an ex-champ.
But I'm not now. I just want something different. You know what I mean? Wouldn't that be cool? We got on and like the first thing we saw was Roman, and he was in the ring, and he was just like bawling his eyes out. Guys, I lost my title. What do I fucking do? Okay, I don't know what to do. Somebody help me. And then Rollins then Dean comes out and he's like, "Hey, like, dude, it's cool. Like, I have the belt now. Like, I'll buy the beers, right? Cool, right? Like, or no, you buy the beers. Loser buy the. I can't drink right now, Dean. My title, okay? Like, I just need something different. Like, then we'll get behind the guy. Be like, oh, poor Roman. Someone give him his title back. Yeah, Dean, why'd you lose the belt to me, please?
If you were a real friend, you give me the belt back.
And Seth beat me, and then you just beat him. I softened him up for you. Doesn't that come for something? Can we be co-champions?
You didn't even give me a chance to beat him again. You just took it. You took it.
You didn't give me a chance, Pete. I thought we were friends. I thought we were better than
I thought we were brothers.
I'm not buying any fucking beer, okay?
What's the real?
Now you're a champ. Maybe you can make some money.
You're tearing me apart, Dean.
You don't know how this feels. You don't know how it feels inside. Seth comes out and he's like, "What the fuck are you doing, John?" I start saying John over and over for no good reason.
Yeah,
that shows up and cuts a promo on me. Now you look fucking here, Gino time.
Oh.
I saw my girlfriend. I saw what she said to you. Did you, Johnny? She was blowing kisses at me. Here's how I feel about it. I'm actually leaving Twitter.
Why did you just go into your Jeff Hardy voice?
Because I got to get them all in before I'm gone.
Go to sleep, motherfucker.
One more thing, Johnny C.
I think you're a nerd.
You act like you recover naturally when you get injured. I think you take somas to lift weights, motherfucker. I think you're a nerd.
That might be my favorite.
Oh man.
Oh, I'm gonna miss that when you're gone.
Yeah. Woo. You'll be all right.
I know, but nobody's.
You'll be okay.
I'll have to listen to. I snuck in the room. God damn it!
Everything's gonna work out, Sean. This show will go on. Roman Reigns won't be the champ, but who will? Big Cass. I don't think I have any more to get in before we get out of here.
Holy shit.
Me leaving like, this makes me think of like Cartman from South Park. It's again.
I love you
Cat?
guys. Fuck you guys.
Fucking cow. Dude, the fuck? We've long since abandoned this. There were 48 matches on this show, and we talked about 2 of them, and we stopped. And we didn't talk about the ladder match because Cesaro did some things. Del Rio may be hurt. He injured his ankle trying to protect his dick.
Well, he should.
And a million people were like, "Well, it inspires tattoos." I hear. Out of it, that's the Pappy.
Oh, I don't know. I guess I thought maybe
She
I was
calls it
trying. I was
Pappy?
thinking about making a Father's Day joke on Twitter, and I decided not to. So
Well, thanks for sharing that with us.
I know it's a good
Tell
story.
us the joke. Tell us the joke.
I don't even know what it was. I can't. It's
Wow.
I didn't stop it because it was offensive. I stopped because it wasn't any good.
Well,
Something-
you never know what'll hit and what'll miss. I never would have thought that my Tom Phillips gimmickry would hit, right?
True.
Where he asked dumb questions.
Anything that Dolph Ziggler ever tweets won't hit.
Actually, it does, but it's mostly like a bunch of women who are like, "Face fuck me, Dolph."
Whatever. We were supposed to have her on the show. You were so excited you got that scoop. What happened to that?
Dude, she posted a photo the other day of Happy Father's Day, and she was deep throating a dildo.
And to think, I thought it might be a bad idea to interview her.
I'm literally scrolling to I'm literally scrolling to
This is Gino's farewell episode will be remembered for a long time.
Dude, hang on. I'm scrolling Twitter. It's a regular day, just like any other day. And suddenly it's Happy Father's Day, and there's the face fuck me fin girl just deep throating it. What in the fucking world?
What does that have to do with father? Oh, that's her gift to fathers everywhere.
What does that have to do with fathers? Like, yeah, like you're not fathers if you go about it that way.
Right, and that's I'm stopping.
This makes no sense.
Nope.
Oh man, I don't know. We were gonna have her on, and then we realized we didn't really have anything to say to her.
No, and she might be a little bit kooky. I think is the clinical term.
I don't think that makes you kooky. It's a little out there.
I wouldn't go so far as to call her kooky.
It is crazy as a motherfucker. I don't know that I'd say on the scale. I think it's out there, batshit insane, crazy as a motherfucker, and then kooky. True. I don't think she's quite too kooky. There were other matches.
There were several. At least 2 or 3 other matches.
Many matches on this night, and I think I only watched about 4 of them. So yeah. It's funny because at the end of the night, whatever, I put the recap up, and someone's like, "You don't have any thoughts on Rusev and Titus?" And I looked, and I had nothing for Rusev and Titus. I was like, "What do you? Did that happen on this show?" I wrote the recap for it.
Well, we were in the cage side offices arguing about whether or not they were going to get bumped or not. So
they're like, "I think they're going to bump them," and they're like, "No, I think they're waiting for the finals to end." It's 10 o'clock and shit, and the fucking LeBron celebrate. He's crying on the floor with a title getting brought to him. And then they give the cue to the ref, and he's like, "All right, Rusev, take it home." So he breaks his back, makes him humble. And
like you do.
Talk some shit to some kids. One of them strike Rusev.
Yes, the older one gave him a nice knife-edge chop, I think.
Arrest that kid.
Well, there is a precedent for that. I mean, you can't
put his ass in jail.
Brie Bella's done time for that same offense, I believe.
Oh man, you remember that dude who freaked out right next to her when she said "bitch"?
Oh yeah. He'd never heard anybody swear before.
That was the weirdest noise I've ever heard. Oh. Do you do it?
That's yeah. I don't know.
Do you do any weird voices, Sean?
Just my own.
Can you make? So I have a devil voice. Let's see if this comes through. Sean.
That comes through.
Is that a pretty good devil voice or what?
I've never actually spoken to a devil, so I don't know for sure.
I'll do the rest of the show this way. I really appreciated the Dudley Boys.
I think that's the only way you can say you really appreciated the Dudley Boys. The devil voice.
If you're a dumb shit demon.
If you're the devil.
No Finn Balor on the show, so Balor continues.
That's actually terrifying.
Oh no, you're gonna hang up that fucking tree forever. No. I'm so scared. So is he. That's why he's hanging. I'm not coming down.
I can't wait. I was so bummed he didn't debut last night. I have worked myself into a shoot about how excited I am to find out what picture will come up when he debuts. I cannot
Sean,
wait.
I already told you the answer.
I pretend I forgot it because
What's funny is no, I didn't tell you the answer because I remember now. I don't have an answer. What's funny is
just when you think you have all the answers, Gino changes the questions to himself.
That's what's funny because you're like, I can't wait to see what you come up with, and I'm like, why are you putting this pressure on me? I have literally no. Actually, you know what? I did find one. I did find one. This
is scintillating podcast talk. I have Twitter jokes that I didn't do, and you have things that.
And then you don't remember the joke, so
I don't know what.
No utility in bringing it up.
No.
Social utility. I don't know what that means.
I don't know. It sounds like something important, though. It sounds like something Marshall McLuhan would write about.
You know what I heard it in? Interstellar.
Oh, that probably doesn't mean anything then. That whole movie is just mumbo.
I'm going to go ahead and burp right here on the air. I just did that, and I don't mind at all.
Nice. We need a burp button. Like on radio, they have a cough button. What the hell are we even talking about?
We're trying to get to the other matches on the show, and I don't think we remember I think The Miz wrestled. That was a pretty good match.
He wrestled Social Outcasts,
and then he went to the back and watched the Cavs win a title. So that was cool.
Made his wife wear a shirt.
Yeah, Mary C. Good for them. I'm glad they're well.
Every wrestler who's a Cavs fan is in a relationship with another wrestler. That's weird.
Dolphin
Dana, and Johnny Gargano and Candice LeRae.
I don't know who either of those people are.
One of them is the champion of all Japan.
Ooh,
the whole nation, and the other one is Johnny Gargano.
Wrestling.
Well, they made some controversial decisions of their own this weekend that really got the internet up in arms.
Did they? Oh, yes. Were there rainmakers?
There was a rainmaker. People didn't like a rainmaker.
Ghetto.
People were mad at Ghetto about the rainmaker.
the Ghetto rainmaker.
even though NATO displayed some really good footwork.
Yeah, great.
Still weren't happy with it.
Great footwork, real strong lariat. There was a impressive kick out. Super impressive. Surprising.
Some really, really well executed near falls.
Yeah, good crowd. Good crowd.
Mm-hmm.
Hot crowd. Very the sturdy ring. The ring was very sturdy, I
felt. Ropes were a little tight.
Yeah, a little tight. So I mean, their backs were a little hurt, but
could have loosened those up for them. But
the fatal 4-way tag match was a piece of shit.
Although apparently they didn't fuck up the pin as bad as we all thought they did.
Oh, come on. Like, Gallows went full Festus when he got in and he saw Carl Anderson get put up for the big ending.
That was the worst thing ever. Yeah, that stare down. No, there were a lot of fuck ups, but people were saying that I think Enzo had pinned Aiden or something. And I might, if I get around to it, if I don't fucking pass out, I might write a post about it. Apparently the crowd counted along with the first time the ref went to bring his arm down, but he didn't bring his arm all the way down because somebody's elbow or shoulder wasn't down. So
I also saw that they didn't pin the legal man for the finish.
Right.
Aiden English took a finish, laid there for at least 4 minutes. While Luke Gallows was like, "Oh, what do I do? You have him up for the big ending." And then Big Cass finally ran in and did a boot. And then they did the thing, and then English, I think it was some Booker T at WrestleMania type shit. Like, you get one finish, and then you just lay there dead for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was horrible and bad and everything wrong in the world.
It was kind of a mess, yeah.
Not kind of, it was a mess.
All right, well, the crowd was into it, though, so.
Natalya Neidhart turned on Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch is, I think, can we call her Sting level dumb now?
I don't know if it's Sting level dumb so much as just what a sad sack fucking situation because, How is she not having a complete breakdown of like, all my friends turn on me? What's wrong with me? I'm a chipper, happy person. I like to think I make people happy. But they just keep beating the shit out of me. You know who she needs to talk to? She needs to go talk to Big.
Big would probably have some good advice.
They're picking on me, Big.
Big's advice certainly helped Apollo Crews to a victory. So
to a roll up.
Yeah, well, W is a W. It's all the same in record book.
W is a W, I guess. You know, it's like, I guess, you know, I root for the Steelers. I could see myself if I was like a non or whatever, like not for them to win, but just because they fucking bomb it. They're just chucking the pigskin. So I guess, you know, we need a wrestler like that. He might lose all the time, but they're just chucking the pigskin, man.
There you
like
go.
Brock throwing people around and then losing. Right? Like, I don't know. Like,
whatever. Like UFC 200? Is that what you're talking
about? Mark Hunt is going to fuck his world up. Mark Hunt's going to change his life. And it's going to be amazing because it's always fun to see. I love Brock, but it's always fun to see big-ass, strong-ass dudes who are like, you know, they do what they want because they look that way. Just get slept. Just go to sleep, dude.
We'll see.
I'm talking arms stiff. Like whole body just
like
shot.
Enzo, go down like Zoe. Just.
Yeah, but even worse. Like I'm talking like head bobbing up and down, shallow breaths, arms stiff, straight, done. Wakes up like, what happened, guys? Am I still in fight? No, bro. You've been beat. My man knocked you the fuck down.
It's not possible because he's going to come out to next big thing, and no one can ever lose after they come out.
It's not possible because he's got a neck the size of a fucking tank, dude. You can't knock someone out who has a neck that thick. That's the problem. Secondly, you're right. He's going to come out to well, that's the word, right? But
right,
I can't imagine it's, you know, we're going to hear that. Boom, bum, 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 bum. You're going to freak out, dude.
Yep, I'm going to freak out.
I'm buying it.
I am going to. If they got Heyman to introduce him, forget about it.
Or Heyman to walk out. Ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. And then everyone's like, oh, hell no.
That's what that Pride was good for that, man. They had the actual, like, the wrestling entrances and shit. That was the money.
95% of the people listening to this have no idea what Pride is. What is Sean talking about?
That's because I'm old and this isn't an MMA podcast. But they also, if they've lasted this long, they've heard you burp. And
I set it up. I told you I was going to do it, and I did it. I feel good about it.
So that's if they're still listening, it's really I don't feel like it's my fault. I think it's theirs. They've made some bad decisions in their life, and now they're reaping the benefits.
If you're still listening to this, we appreciate it certainly.
Absolutely, we love you, but
we do love you. But we talked about emotional abuse before.
And then we practiced it on you.
Yes, that's our relationship with you. You've made poor life choices, and I want the best for you, dear listener.
I do.
It's not you, it's me.
It is. It's him.
It's totally me. I appreciate your love and support. It's been fun. It's been real. It hasn't been real. It's been fake as hell, actually, but. Yeah, I don't know.
Can't even insincerely say goodbye.
Was there another? No,
son of a bitch.
We're not done yet. Is there another match we need to do, or?
Well, I was supposed to talk about the.
Oh yeah, you had something you wanted to say. Say it.
All right, so I liked the Breezango stuff. I was on the Twitter machine expressing.
What are you saying, man? Really? You support homophobia?
I was on the Twitter machine saying I liked it, and I got some flack.
You don't know comedy.
I don't know comedy. So as I've said many times before, I am not in the business of telling people what they shouldn't be offended by. So if you're offended by it, that sucks for you. I don't mean that. I mean, it does. I don't want people to be offended. So I'm sorry you were offended.
Sucks to suck, motherfucker.
I didn't write it, so I'm not going to apologize for the material. I just laughed at it. And the reason why I don't feel like this is, a rib on gay people is because the whole, I don't know, the whole angle is, I mean, Goldust and R-Truth are in love with each other. They have been for months, and they're good guys. So if Tyler Breeze and Fandango are also in love with each other. That's just presenting both sides of that coin. I also don't think that they're in love with each other. I think the joke is that they're so in love with themselves, they don't realize that maybe getting into a tanning bed dick to dick is a little bit, homosexual. Mm-hmm. So is it high comedy? No, but I'm glad that these two guys are getting something to do that maybe they can get over and make money with. And I just think I think the intent of the comedy is sort of goofy and maybe even a little bit subversive to say that, look, all of these guys are a little bit in love with each other, and that's the joke. I have nothing to back this up. I think, to me, this looks like a Jimmy Jacobs angle. This is the man who once called himself the Zombie Princess and always went everywhere with then Kevin Steen, with his head on his shoulder, sort of playing with the same things. So maybe Vince thinks it's a rib on gay people, but I think in general it's just goofy fun. It's, like I said, both teams are expressing some male affection for one another. One's a good guy team, one's a bad guy team. So I don't think that it's not like a gay panic angle or anything, which, just the fact that Goldust is involved with it and it's not a gay panic angle is fucking progress. So I know it's a bummer if you do think that this is, horrible, and I understand that. I certainly understand why you would think it's not funny, because it's the usual WWE. They got burnt, but I thought it was funny, and I liked that they sold the sunburn thing. It was a different way to do a comedy match, so I was okay with all this. I thought it was pretty funny, and I just don't think it's I don't think it's homophobic or anti-gay or anything like that. I just think it's goofiness.
So someone on the Twitter machine, JP, says, KHI Teats and S1 Root are making me reassess my personal life. Damn. That was 29 minutes ago that was tweeted at us. So I don't know what we were. I think we were talking about Big Mong McLong Schlong at that point. So I'm not sure.
Maybe JP also realized that his life has been empty without Big Bong McLong Schlong, and that he decided to do some personal reflection.
You said JP, and I thought angels in the outfield and shit. Little JP coming too. He's coming too. We're not leaving JP. Hashtag Andy says, at AndyMac970. Sorry, JP, I already missed your Twitter handle. He says, your devil voice sounds like Dr. Claw from Inspector Gadget. Is that true? I don't think I ever watched that.
Yeah, you were probably. I think so. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a long time.
I don't know that I'm okay with that.
Well, then stop doing it. That's a simple fix.
If you're reassessing your personal life after talk of Big Bong McLong, that's the best one, man.
Are you saying that he smokes marijuana? Is that why? Why is he Big Bong? Does he have a big bong?
Big Bong. If you're on Instagram rapping Biggie with a big ass beard, you're rolling with Bray Wyatt,
true.
I'm fairly certain you do.
You think there's some ganj?
Well,
maybe.
Plus, I talked to Jeff Hardy, and he told me some things.
Whoa.
So what's funny is we never talked about the fact that Matt Hardy's also in that video, and he's even more lit. They go to him, and he's all, Amy Dumas, her relationship with CM Punk, what it is. I know when she needs somebody, I'm the guy she calls. And he's shoveling fries into his gullet as he's doing this. He's like a garbage disposal for French fries at this point. He's the fucking fat kid from Matilda, dude, doing the cake and cheering him on. And he's like, oh, what a world. All right, I think Sean, you look stressed.
I have been #broken.
Is it fatigue?
Are you done with the tweet bag there? I don't know. You were deep in the
yeah, well, you were talking about the angle, and
and you didn't care. So yeah, I don't know.
I could not give any less of a shit about Big Money Drew says, I came in really late, but holy hell, I'm crying from laughter. Your laughter is fantastic. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it. It's dead and gone now.
Yeah.
So if there's anything, here's what we'll do. We'll hang out for another minute or two, and if there's anything anybody wants to ask it now.
On your your final show.
My final show. Here's your shot, man. If you had anything you ever want to ask me, you better ask that shit right now, and I'll answer it honestly. JP will come pick you up. Make sure you get into the home with Danny Glover. And Joe Gordon-Levitt. I don't know about what was the pitcher's name? Dude, that angel with you right now. It was played by Tony Danza. What was his fucking name? That's gonna piss me off.
If only there was a way to find out.
Man, if only there was a machine that could assist us in our search for knowledge and truth.
Did you hear this story about there was a grandmother somewhere who every time, I don't know how they found, I guess her grandson worked on her computer and found out that every time she did a Google search, she said please and said thank you to the search engine because she thought.
Sean, this is the third time you've told me this story.
Well, it's what happens when you get old. I can't remember what stories I've told to who.
Oh, JP. It's JP. He said he's answering us. He says it was when y'all were talking the E being a bad relationship and you hold on for what could be. And then in parentheses it says Sask spin Nerfhold. I think this is Saskatchewan spinning Nerfhold.
Oh.
He's the dude isn't he the one who does the fucking
he's our rumor rodeo, but he's been slacking.
Can't wait to see the new one. Shit.
Well, now he's got all kind of rumor fodder about your exit.
Yeah, the reason Gino's leaving is because Sting would never agree to do the fucking show.
It's not as funny that's what made him question his life as opposed to Big Bong McSlong.
Yeah, that's actually really. I'm real sorry, JP. I hope you're okay. I hope everything's going well in your life, and if you need to talk to somebody, we're certainly around. Well, Sean,
well, you're not anymore. You're
at
quitting.
S1 Rude. Don't at me.
Don't at me.
Get in the thread. Is there anything in the thread that's
slide in my DMs? What?
It's not going to be on Twitter. Get in the thread.
I'm in the thread. Did you watch episode 6, season 2 of Swerved?
No, that's like the 58th time that's been asked. No, I didn't watch it. Why? What's important about watching it?
Gino, why is this your final show?
Because I'm having a fucking breakdown and I need to get away from it.
Wait, is Gino going away? Is this a shoot?
Yes.
That's it, I think.
That's it.
Somebody else didn't like the Hasakawa didn't like the Breezango angle too. Sorry. I wish you did. I wish people I wish
you liked what I liked.
I wish there was more laughter in the world.
Because
what in the world is happening with this show?
We Sean, what do you want to? Are you going to keep doing it with me? Or?
I'm going to do it. I'm going to do both voices. I'm going to pretend I'm you.
You're going to pretend. You're going to figure out a way to make the solid snake face come up.
That's right. That's right.
And then you're gonna.
Well, and I'm just going to duck over to a different microphone and make the solid snake face come up. And then.
Gino, what'd you think about the show? I thought it was good.
I liked it.
It was a very good show.
It was good.
It was fun. Not that fun.
I think
it would have been more fun.
I think it's a show for nerds.
I think you're a nerd. All right, let's get out of here.
I've been waiting for you to have some sort of meaningful sign off, but
all right, I'll do a meaningful sign off. Here's what I'll say. I'll be back at some point. I'm sure. I'll do a special show or whatever. Sean, I'm sure we'll carry this on, and Canaanite's always fucking Canaanite all the time wanting to be on this fucking show. So we'll give him his way, I guess, and make him settle down so he doesn't talk so fast. But yeah, I'm not gonna be in cage side or anything. Just just bailing on this because I just
because he does it every once in a while.
Yeah, every now and again, you just, like we said, every now and again, you just need to take time for yourself and you need to figure your own stuff out. And it's mental. Essentially, I'm just taking some mental health time. That's probably a good way to put it. This is my job. This is my full-time job. So and it has been for, we've been doing this for me, at least for 5 years or whatever, another anniversary coming up, I guess it'll be 5 years this year in a couple months. And you just get burned, and it's been a tough couple weeks. Things have just been kind of going the way they've been going, but yeah, the show's not going to end. I'll be back at some point. I don't know when. I really appreciate all of you listening. I appreciate all the really nice, wonderful things people have said. I didn't ever think that people would think my laugh was a cool thing, but a bunch of people have said that it's like, oh, it's the best thing ever. I love this show when I start laughing like an idiot. Super appreciate that. Swift, and for compiling all the cool moments and stuff. And I think it'd be cool at one point if I'll pay someone. I'll put this out there. I will pay someone to go through our shows and just get the laughter spots and supercut them together, because I think it'd be a cool supercut of you know what I mean? Wouldn't that be cool to look back and be able to be like, here are all the times they were laughing like idiots on the show. I don't know how to do that kind of stuff.
I don't know. I wouldn't listen to it, but
yeah, when I ever listen back, I would be like, man, I don't like when it's all serious. But when we just cut loose and start being idiots, it's so much fun. But I've had a really good time. Sean, love you. Everyone, thanks for listening. Super appreciate it. I'll be back at some point, but for now, I gotta go away and deal with my shit. So, thanks everybody. Love you.